Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we are going to be doing another video of Every Card Has a Story. Now, this card is a card that I've had for not that long of time, but I have been looking to get it for quite some time. And I received it from a good friend of mine who watches my videos and has done deck profiles on this channel before. He knows who he is. Gave this to me about half a year ago to a year ago. And it's just a cool story about how I got around to actually getting this card and how long it took me to actually find someone that actually had it. And that is Trial of Hell. Yes, you're like, Trial of Hell? That's a Yu-Gi-Oh card? Especially for you younger school players out there, you may not even know this card even existed. So, what's the story behind this card first off, and then we'll get to how I attained this card and why I wanted it. So, back in 2002, in Legend of Blue Eyes' first print run, the OCG name was Trial of Hell for this vanilla level 4 card. Alright? It says Trial of Hell. It was a translation error, because when does Konami or R&D ever say, you know what, we need Yu-Gi-Oh cards that say Hell in the name? Yes, Hell. Oh my gosh, the children will riot in the streets. No. So it was changed after the first printing and the second printing and the subsequent other reprints down the road. It was changed to Trial of Nightmare. But Trial of Hell has always been a sought-after card, actually. And they're about $5, $6 to find. I mean, I used to have some of these way back in the day, but I sold them off. I only had a couple. But you can see here, I'll show you right here. This is from first edition, Legend of Blue Eyes, as you can see. Trial of Hell. It's a real card. It's a little bit, played, but it's a first edition Legend of Blue Eyes card, for Pete's sake. So, I mean, of course, it's going to have some wear and tear. But it's in good condition enough where you can tell what it is. It's just edge wear. So, I've always wanted this card for the longest time. Years later, it actually became very popular. Like, oh, Konami printed a card with Hell in the name. Oh my gosh. So people start picking this card up and it kind of became a meme. But even before memes were a thing, people were picking this card up because it was just cool. The artwork looks pretty cool. It's a sword through a bloody freaking coffin. Damn, yeah. The OG artwork for Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very badass and very dark compared to nowadays. So to see a card like this was pretty cool back in the day, especially with Hell in the name as we got older. But sadly, when I decided to pick it up back in 2011, 2012, I started looking for them. Now, I could have easily gone online and brought one, and I was thinking about doing it. But I decided that this was going to be one of those type of cards that I wasn't going to buy. I was actually going to look to find someone who was willing to trade or sell me or give it to me or whatever to find this card starting in 2011. So the funny thing is, in all my time going from events to events to events, looking through multiple trade binders, from 2011 to 2017, for 6 years, I could not find anyone that had this card. Or if they had it, they had one copy and they weren't going to trade it. Or if they had a copy, they were trying to juice me for $20 for that. I'm like, no, no, I'm not paying $20 for a common. No, I was like $5, $6, $7, the regular price I'll take. I'm not going to pay. I had one guy try to sell me one for $20. I was like, I was like, I ain't going to do that. I'm not that desperate. What do you think I need it for? A medical? No, it's just going to my collection. But, I kept looking and looking, and only that one person, I think it was back in 2013, had it doing Dragon Ruler format. And I said, I'm not paying for it. But I kept looking and looking and looking, and nobody had it. People had either traded them off years ago, or they just didn't have them anymore, or some story of they didn't want to trade it. So I was like, okay, I'll keep looking and looking. And then I stumbled across my friend, and I was looking through his boxes because he was organized his collection, and I stumbled across it, and I was like, oh, oh my gosh, OMG, I want this card. He's like, why do you want this card? I'm like, you don't understand. I have been looking for this card for 6 years. 6 years. Because like literally I had made it like kind of like a game in my mind where I'm like, I'm not going to buy this card. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to search the world for this one card. And guess what happened? I found the card. And I told him the story about how I'd spent literally 6 years looking for this card in every binder known to man. And that nobody wanted to give it to me or trade it to me or was trying to juice me for it. And I felt so horrible. He's like, that's a sad story. Give me $3. I gave him $3. He gave it to me. And I have had it in my collection in my special binder ever since that day. As soon as I got home, it went right in the binder and I was so happy that 6 years of my life looking for this one vanilla card that nobody cares about. It's never been meta. It's just been this card because it has hell in the name that I have been searching for forever. Like I even had a friend. He because I think this was a short print in the Legend of Blue Eye set, if I heard correctly. Because I even had a friend who brought like 20 packs of first edition Legend of Blue Eyes. He opened them up. He got one Child of Hell. He's like, if I get double, I'll trade you one. He only got one out of 20 packs. He kept it. I was like, that's fine. That was back in like 2014. I was sick to my stomach because I was really hoping to get it then. But after 6 long years, I found it. And that's the story of Seto Kaiba trying to bloody find a vanilla card for 6 years. It is just as bad as when the real Seto Kaiba was looking for the last Blue Eyes White Dragon and found it in an old man's card shop. So, that's the story of this pathetic vanilla card and how I came to get Trial of Hell. It has a story within a story about a misprinted card that Konami, a mistranslation that Konami printed in their first ever card run, to me spending 6 years of my life looking through binders and binders and binders for this one card. And that's the story of this card, which is an epic story, I feel like. And I just, ever since I found it, I've been meaning to make a video on it. But yes, thank you to my friend for... Now I don't have to look for this card anymore. Now we must find a new card to search for. Maybe DDS Blue Eyes, but that's way too rare. But it was so weird that nobody had it. Like, I don't get it. Like, that's the thing I don't get about this card is, I get its first ed, Legend of Blue Eyes, very old set. But how, why? Why? In all the regionals and things I've gone to throughout the year, you know, those 6 years, and all the people I've met, and all the trade binders I've looked through, people were like, huh, that's a card? Oh, I remember seeing that as a kid. We thought it was funny, but I never kept the card. I threw it away. I'm like, ah! Like when they were kids, they threw it away. So that's the thing I don't get. How? How did it take me 6 bloody years to find this card? I don't get it still to this day. I think it was some sick, you know, Egyptian god joke. The Egyptian gods were playing a trick on me. Because how does it take a man 6 years to find a common that is first ed? I don't know. I really don't know. It's something that still perplexes my mind even to this day. But it's just such a cool story with cool artwork and everything, like I said. To actually find this card was amazing and awesome. It, you know, literally, I would be going through, like, people would be asking me, and this is the funny story as I wrap this up here. I would be going through trade binders, and they'd be asking, they'd be asking, hey, are you looking for anything in particular? And I'd be like, oh, I'm looking for a card called Trial of Hell. And they're like, what? That's a Yu-Gi-Oh card? I'm like, yeah, it's a common from Legend of Blue Eyes. They're like, oh, I probably don't have it. And then some people, like his buddy would be like this happens so many times, that the buddy would be like, hey, yeah, that is a card. But like, that came out of the first print run of Legend of Blue Eyes, and like, it brought, you know, it helped other people know that there was actually, this card did exist in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because a lot of people didn't know it, or there was just this one person, like 1 out of every 10 people I asked knew about the card. But actually it's a $6, $7 card on TCG Player. But that's a cool fact that you probably didn't know as well. So I'm going to wrap this video up because it's been long enough. But it's a cool story, and there's just so many like fun things that people are like, oh my gosh. I was like, I would tell my story like a person going to tell around like, you know, folk tales. Like, I've looked for this card for 6 long years, and I can't find in my trial of hell. I've looked along high and low through every binder that dwelled. I looked here, I looked there, I looked at every YCS that came, but no trial of hell I could find into that fateful day. Oh my gosh, I'm singing. I'm like a bard. Hope you enjoyed that little song. I'll see you guys next time.